Hey, this is Gene Odom, and these folks are going to set me up a Patreon, Patty and this young man here. And like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'm going to tell you the story. When Ronnie asked me to come to work for him and be the bodyguard and security, I said, no, man, I don't want to work for you hippies. I said, y'all break up all the time. These bands break up. I said, I'm a union iron worker. I said, I'll have a pension. I got half of it already made. I said, I'm not really. He said, oh, he said, you come on, take care of us. You take care of me and everybody. He said, quote, I'll make you rich. So I went to work for Leonard Skinner, my fishing buddy, Ronnie. And it wasn't long, several months after I went to work for him, that we had that terrible plane crash in October of '77. And I spent 3 years healing up, surgeries and everything, you know. And so I went back to ironworking in 1980. And while doing addition on the brewery in Jacksonville, Florida, Anheuser-Busch Brewery, I fell and got all broke up, mangled up. And in the hospital, workers' comp says, your old injuries, what are these from? I said, well, I was in an airplane crash in '77 and got all broke up, beat up. And so workers' compensation said, you need too many surgeries. You're going to need a bunch of future surgeries, so we're going to put you on disability. I said, no, I'll heal up. It'll take me a while, I'll heal up. So they said, no. My lawyer said, this is the state of Florida. Workers' compensation has deemed you uninsurable. You lost your eye and you got all these surgeries to be done, and the ones you just went through. So you've got to go on Social Security and disability. I didn't like that, but that's how it came out to be. And since then, I've had like 15 surgeries. And so the paperwork, I got paperwork together, and I went down to Social Security. And really nice lady, I can't remember her name, of course, but she said, yeah, we have your paperwork, Mr. Odom, and you're deemed 100% totally disabled and you can't work. And since you're uninsurable, being union, you're done. So you're going to go on Social Security. And she said, you'll get the maximum benefits because you had paid the maximum as a working man. And so she's on the computer, you know, doing this, talking to me. And she's on there, and she goes, oh my God. And I went, what? I said, what's that all about? And she said, Mr. Odom, you're 40 years old. I was 40 then. She said, you're 40 years old, you're divorced, and your 2 children are grown. You're only going to receive 40-year-old single pension, $900 a month. And she said, I feel so bad for you because if you was married, you would be getting several $100s more. I said, well, hell, I'll go get married. And she said, it don't make any difference because you're in the system as a 40-year-old single person. That you're in the system, that's it. So, you know what, I'm luck. I started drawing the $900 a month. So I went down to the union hall to get my pension started, and I knew I'd had halfway over a pension. So went down to the union hall, business agent, Tommy. I said, hey man, here's my Social Security paperwork and stuff. He said, all right. He said, we'll get your pension started. He picks the phone up and he calls Administrative Services and said, Gene Odom, union number, blank, blank, blank. He's disabled, and so we're going to start his pension. So they spoke on the phone back and forth. He hung the phone up. He said, Gene, I got some bad news for you, buddy. I said, man, that's all I ever get's bad news. What is it? He says, when the airplane crashed, you had 9.9 credits. You needed to make 80 hours within the 12-month period. And since you didn't work for 3 years, you lost that 9.9 credits. So they went my 10 years of retirement right out the window. And so he says, man, he said, your pension is only going to be $377 a month. He said, I'm sorry about that, Gene. I'm real sorry. But he said, that's how the charter reads. Well, that's Gene Odom luck. And so I started drawing the 900 and the 377. Then when I turned 55 years old, this was 15 years later, my pension dropped to 277. I went back down to the union hall. I said, Tommy, I said, why did my check drop $100? He called administrative services and said, why did Gene Odom's check drop $100? So they spoke back on the phone briefly, you know, and he said, all right. Yeah. So he hung the phone up and he said, man, I got some more bad news for you, Gene. I said, man, that's all I ever get. What is it? He said, the way the charter is written, when you're on disability and you turn 55, you automatically switch over to early retirement. And he said, you switch into early retirement, with the credits you have, you lose $100 a month. So 21 years of iron working, my pension is $277 a month. Thank God Social Security over the 35 years has went up, you know, several $100s more, you know, but I get the minimum. And my pension, $277, has never went up a penny since I started getting it. It was 1992, you know, 1990 or 90, yeah, workers' comp paid to 2 years, 1992. I've been on Social Security since 1992, in my pension. And so hopefully this Patreon thing, but if you folks are interested, you know, be a part of it, you know, and I call it Gene Odom luck. I tell people my luck runs out just before I wake up every morning. True story.